There's so much talent in the league. I've never seen this much talent. This generational players, great players, all-stars, superstars. There's just a whole plethora of them. So back in the 90s and 80s, you never saw players hanging out with players that aren't their teammates. You know why? Because I'm trying to get the trophy, and you are in my way. And I will do whatever it takes to get you out of my way. In the UFC, Bilal Muhammad is injured and he just pulled out of his fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yo, you have no idea how long it took me to practice that name and get it right. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Anyway, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Will Levis, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, and Kenny Pickett. All of those are young quarterbacks that have been benched over the past year or two. Mike, check 1, 2. What's good? It is a Friday. It's been a long week. I am happy to be here. Oh my God. Mukundi, ITALKSPORTS, episode 13. We're doing so well. Rajana High School, episode 13. NJ, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm very good.
How's Chelsea doing?
Chelsea's good. Could be one on the weekend.
I ain't heard from y'all since that win over a nobody over the weekend.
Oh no, we won against Newcastle now. Quite a good team.
Okay.
In the league, and then in the EFL Cup, like a smaller cup.
Okay.
They came back and they got revenge and beat us, but it's like, hey, whatever.
So
even Man City
it's an eye for an eye.
It's an eye for
an eye. We're not talking about Man City. Don't try to change the subject. Don't try to change the subject.
Yeah, we lost, but I'm not too caught up about that.
We're
still good in the league.
You're still good. Fourth in the league is still good.
For fifth right now. That's better than 60. Like, hey.
Okay. We shall see. All that money spent. You guys need Roman back. Get the Kremlin to do something, please. Anyway, my dude, how are you? Are you fine? You can just let me know down there. Comment section, Mukundi, I'm fine. How you doing? Are you fine? The NBA season is in full swing and it is so much fun. So amazing. So amazing. However, everyone is hurt. Everyone is injured. No one is on the court. Shout out Joel Embiid. I'll get to that later. But it's a pretty wild time. It's a pretty great time to be a basketball fan right now because there's so much talent in the league. I've never seen this much talent, such a collection of talent in the league as there is right now. We can talk about the 90s. We can talk about the 2000s. We can talk about the 2010s. But right now, bro, generational players, great players, all-stars, superstars, there's just a whole plethora of them. Remember, there's a ESPN, or could be Bleacher Report, but I'm certain it's ESPN. There's an ESPN graphic that showed you the 3 generations of players that are in right now. In one category, you had your Steph, your LeBron, your KD, your Embiid, the all-time greats. And then in the middle now, you got the superstars right now, your current superstars. You got your Giannis, you got your Jokic, you got your who's this? You got your, maybe let's say Porzingis, you got your Devin Booker, D-Lo, Bronny. You got your Devin Bookers, you got your Jason Tatums, you got your Jaylen Browns, and then in the third graphic, they had your young stars. That's where your Ja Morant is, your Anthony Edwards, your Zion Williamson, your Victor Wembanyama, your Chet Holmgren. What a time to be alive. And what a time to be a basketball fan. And what a time to be a fan of beef. It's sizzling. It's cooking. It's doing its thing. What am I talking about? Victor Wembanyama does not like Chet Holmgren at all. Apparently, he won't even say the man's name. They beefing, and I am here for it. I remember telling NJ on an episode of his podcast. You can go back and check it, NJ Podcast. I don't know what you titled it. What you titled it when I was saying you are in my way, NJ. You're in my way.
That was the goats of basketball, right?
Goats of basketball. Yeah. Okay. Go to the NJ podcast. I'll maybe add a little link right here if that's even possible. But go to the NJ podcast. And I told NJ, a lot of players these days are too chummy with each other. And I blame LeBron for that. You know, so back in the 90s and 80s, you never saw players hanging out with players that aren't their teammates. You know why? Because I'm trying to get the trophy. And you are in my way. And I will do whatever it takes to get you out of my way. However, sometimes, on those rare occasions, in sports and amongst men, you just don't like somebody. You can't stand him, whether it's how he looks, whether it's how he plays, whether it's how he smells, whether it's how he looks at you, it don't matter. These dudes just can't stand each other. And I'm here for it. I love it. Victor Wembanyama won't even say Chet Holmgren's name. I am circling all the dates for the Spurs and OKC games because that's going to be peak entertainment. You could see their matchups last year, that these dudes are playing with a certain chip on both their respective shoulders. The Rookie of the Year race last year was one of the most exciting I've seen in a while. However, by March, we could see who the Rookie of the Year is. Chet held his own for a long time. Chet did good. He played great. He had a great rookie season. Had he not been in the same rookie season or same rookie year as Wemby, he definitely would have been Rookie of the Year. But unfortunately, there's a 7'4" alien from France that now lives in San Antonio, and he is going to kill the league. And Chet will have something to say about that. And I'm here for it. I love it. It's peak entertainment. Anyway, I just thought you'd like to know that. It's sizzling. It's cooking. But that's not what I'm really here to talk about. People are injured. Hey, people are hurt. Yes. Injury report for the season thus far. Figured I might let you know. Kristaps Porzingis is out with a foot injury, and the Celtics are saying he will be back in December. So the season started and he hasn't been. Now, the big man is a very integral part of the team. You can say they wouldn't have won that championship without him last season, but he did get injured in the playoffs, and they still managed to win. But he's a very important part of them getting there. That is not questionable. That's a very true statement. You need Kristaps Porzingis. So I don't know if he's going to be back in December, but the team is eyeing for a December return. And if he does that, he's well on his way to helping the Celtics, who look like they don't need any help. By the way, because I told you, Jason Tatum is pissed, and he's playing great basketball. He even fixed the shot, so now when he shoots, they're just going in. He's doing his thing. He's playing well. Too early to say he's the MVP, but he might just be gunning for it this year. And I said I want Luka to be the MVP, but I'm not mad at Tatum winning the MVP because I'm just tired of these big men winning the MVP year in and year out. Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, you guys have monopolized the MVP award. Why? Aren't we in the most guard-friendly era of basketball? Anyway, Porzingis is out until December with a foot injury, and if he comes back, that's going to be great. But the Celtics are firing on all cylinders and firing so many threes. Opening night against the Knicks. Did their thing. Set the record for most threes made in an NBA game with 29 threes. How do you make 29 threes, bro? Okay, fine. Celtics. Porzingis is out. Warriors, Steph is out. He hurt his ankle. Oh my God, that bro's ankles are made of glass, bro. Since his rookie season, Steph has had one problem and one problem alone, and that's his ankles are made of glass. He's been wearing ankle braces his whole career. He became a top 10 player with cooked ankles. Imagine if he actually had ankles. Imagine what he would have done. Right? Yeah. But Steph injured his ankle sometime last week, but the Warriors are playing well. I think I've seen this before. Losing Steph makes the Warriors play with a certain sense of urgency, which I think they need because they're doing well. Andrew Wiggins was playing well, but he's also out now, unfortunately. But they're doing well, and Podziemski's playing. Steve Kerr seems to be coaching a bit better. Kuminga is also out, man. Man, here we go. Here we go. Another injury-riddled Warriors team. Another one. DJ Khaled couldn't have written this better. But Steph is out, and it's a day-to-day injury because they're just checking it out. He's expected to return next week, God willing. And if he does that, then he'll really help a team that needs him because Lord knows they do. Buddy Hield is probably their best shooter right now because Steph is out. And Clay is in the Mavericks, who's doing phenomenal, by the way. He set the Mavs record for a debuting player. He made about 5-6 threes, which is the Mavs record for a debuting player, which I think is great. He's going to do well given the fact that he's got Kyrie and he's got Luka, two of the best one-on-one players in the league. James Harden used to be on that list, but, you know, he's old Harden now. And I'm not talking about old Harden. He's just old. So James Harden used to be that guy, and he's not that guy anymore. And Luka and Kyrie are the two best one-on-one players in the league who just so happen to be on the same team. So what you gonna do? Are you gonna guard Luka? Are you gonna leave Kyrie open? Are you gonna double Kyrie? Are you gonna leave Luka open? Okay, fine. You do that with either one of them. Guess who is open for that shot? Bang. That's right. Money Clay. Money Clay. And he's having an up and down start to the season, but I think that's also just getting the chemistry and getting everything right. Luka is already so confident in him. He just passes the ball and then he walks away. He knows it's going in. 3 to the dome like Melo. So we'll see how that goes. Over in the East, back in the East, Prime Jordan. He hasn't been Prime Jordan. Prime Jordan is hurt. Chris Middleton hasn't played a single game this season. He's played as many games as I have. Ain't that some? Chris Middleton is out, and his absence is really, really felt. Milwaukee is doing bad. Milwaukee is doing bad. They've lost so many games. Damian Lillard dropped 4 points last night. Damian Lillard. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tihimbiri raru ina. Kejo. That's Damian Lillard. One of my favorite players of all time. This is the dude who has a 70-point game in his bag. He dropped 4 points last night. And that only did one thing. That really showed me how much we take LeBron James for granted. I'm saying this because LeBron went years, damn near his entire career, scoring 10 or more points in each game. That's mad. That's mad. I didn't realize how mad it was until I checked Steph. Steph has had games where he had single-digit points. KD has had games where he had single-digit points. Dame just had 4. So shout out LeBron. I think we never really get the chance to appreciate his greatness sometimes because we still just focused on the fact that he's playing. But what he has done is nothing short of remarkable, and shout out to him for that. Chris Middleton is ruled out, and we still don't know when he's going to return, and he's a very felt absence in the Bucks. They need him, and he's going to try his best to work on his injury. Pelicans, DeJounte Murray is out. Traded him from the Hawks to the Pelicans. He's not doing much right now. He hurt his hand and he underwent surgery. He's expected to miss about 4 to 6 weeks. By the way, it just so happens that CJ McCollum is also hurt. So the Pelicans are hurt. However, Zion is playing well. BI is playing well. And I think those two are going to find a way to make it work, at least keep the Pelicans relevant until CJ McCollum comes back. Because what CJ McCollum does, he's the leader of that team. Zion may be the best player. BI may be the second best player. Those two tend to switch those roles around depending on which game they're playing. But CJ McCollum is definitely the captain of that team. He's the heartbeat of that team. You can't deny that. When he's on the court and when he's playing and when he's facilitating and when he's scoring, he just does his thing. So we'll see when CJ comes back. We'll see when DeJounte comes back, and we'll see if the Pelicans are really the contender. Well, not contenders, but second round. Yeah, second round at best. Then we'll see. The young gun. Oh man, the young gun. First of all. Yeah. Our first 50-point game of the season came from none other than Paolo Banchero, the Wizards' #1 pick from 2 seasons ago. Paolo Banchero is coming up. His come up has started. His season has arrived, and it got cut short. He is diagnosed with, I gotta read this. He's diagnosed with a right torn oblique, and he is expected to be out. He is hurt. He is injured. I don't know how that even happens. Don't ask me. I'm not a doctor, nor am I a sports trainer. I just do the talking, and I can tell you that he's injured. And it's really sad because the Magic really needed him. He was the driving force behind that Magic offense. And right now, I think it's all up to Cole Anthony to hold the fort down until he comes back. I trust Cole Anthony. You know, I expected more from him as a player by now. He had a really nice rookie season, I guess. And I just like his personality. You know, ever since he made that game winner and Chuck asked him, yo, do you really look for the ball in those moments? And is that what you live for? And he said, yeah. You know, and I was like, oh, I like this kid. He gonna do amazing stuff. And, well, we shall see. So he's hurt. And Paul George and Joel Embiid, that's the one I want to talk about. Wait. Cole Anthony's not hurt, by the way. Paolo Banchero is. Just got to clarify that. So, Joel Embiid and Paul George still haven't played a single game. I'm not going to spend another 5-10 minutes talking about Joel Embiid and Paul George, because if you want to do that, episode 9 is what you're looking for. I do all of that over there. What I do want to talk about is that because of that, the league has already fined the Philadelphia 76ers $100,000. $100K. And that's because they are in violation of their new player resting policy. And it's very interesting. Their player resting policy is to ensure that teams don't rest players, star players, unnecessarily, especially for vital and crucial games. Now, the league defines a star player as a player who has been in an all-star game or an all-NBA type of selection over the past 3 seasons. If you've been in an all-star game or you've been on an all-NBA team for the past 3 seasons, you are what we now call a star in the league, and you are not allowed to do certain things. What aren't you allowed to do? I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. Number 1, no more than 1 star is available for the game. So that means they both can't miss it. They both can't miss the game, which they both did. So if Joel Embiid sits, Paul George has to play. If Paul George has to play, Joel Embiid sits. Obviously, this is barring a legitimate injury, but we know that Embiid is resting. Come on, dog, go play. Get on the court. What are you doing? You get paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to play basketball. We're not asking you for much. Come on. So, teams must ensure that stars are available for national TV and in-season tournament games, which I think is fair. National TV, sponsorships, viewership, ticket prices, and in-season tournaments, we know that the league put millions. They put so much money in this in-season tournament, so much so that every player on the winning team gets a $250K bonus, which I think the UFC needs to do something about. No more 50K bonuses, man. Get these dudes put their lives on the line to entertain us. I'm pretty sure the 250K bonus can't be that difficult. So teams must maintain a balance between the number of one game absences for a star player in home games and road games, with a preference for those absences to happen in home games. Obviously, because home games, they're probably going to play a lot more. And the road games, the player needs to be visible. The player needs to be seen. Kawhi Leonard. The player needs to be seen. The player needs to be seen.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No. I'm serious, bro. I'm serious. Even I know he's not playing. The least he could do is be seen. You are our selling point. You are our star. The least you could do is just be out there for everyone to see you and just say, okay, here's Kawhi Leonard. So that's pretty fun. Teams must refrain from any long-term shutdown or near shutdown when a star player stops participating in games or plays a materially reduced role. Basically, no minutes restrictions unless you're genuinely hurt. You can't just sit your star unless they're genuinely hurt. And teams must ensure that healthy resting players for a game are present and visible to fans. Do with that information what you will, but I think you and I know who I'm talking to. Yeah. Okay. Man, there's so much to go through. I can't believe I haven't even started talking about the NFL. In the NFL, there's a huge pandemic of young quarterbacks being benched. Anthony Richardson got benched, which, you know what? I ain't even mad. He's a number 4 pick in last year's draft, and the Colts benched him. Why? Because he has had 10 starts in his career. He's completed 50% of his passes with 7 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Yeah, I'd bench him too. I don't know if I'd bench him for old man Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco's not a scrub. He's the reigning comeback player of the year. He can play. He can ball. He knows his things. That's a Super Bowl champion right there. Shout out Joe Flacco. But it then led to a whole conversation and a whole discussion. I'm going to read you a list of names and tell me if you know what they have in common. Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Will Levis, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, and Kenny Pickett. All of those are young quarterbacks that have been benched over the past year or two. With good reason, some of them with good reason. Bryce Young has been benched because he's too small. Even though he's a first pick, he's too small. They tried playing it, lost both their games, and they lost them emphatically. Trey Lance is in Dallas now, and he was with the 49ers. He played well for a while, but unfortunately the 49ers have found their quarterback in Brock Purdy. Shout out Brock Purdy. So he's now a backup in Dallas, and well, we know Dak ain't going anywhere. Justin Fields just got subbed by Russell Wilson a couple weeks ago, and I sat on this chair and I said, that makes no sense. And once again, that's why I'm not Mike Tomlin, the head coach. That's why I just talk sports, because Russell Wilson is playing well. So good for him. And let's not forget that Russell Wilson was actually supposed to be the starting quarterback, but he just hurt himself. And now that he's healthy, he's back. Will Levis, mayonnaise Will Levis. I'm not going to say much about him. I don't think he's playing well, and that's just it. That's why he's benched. Zach Wilson is in Denver. And I think the Jets are starting to miss him because the Aaron Rodgers experiment is not working. However, they did win their game last night, and their record is now an impressive 3 of 6. Mac Jones, he was in the Patriots. Now he's with the Jags. He's a backup for Trevor Lawrence, and he's going to, well, we'll see how he does. Bill Belichick thought he was the next Tom Brady. Well, Brady's one of one, ain't he? Kenny Pickett, he did well with the Steelers, and he's now in Philly, backing up Jalen Hurts. He did well with the Steelers, but unfortunately, we all knew that they needed a legit quarterback, and that's why they now have either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. We'll see how that goes. In the UFC, Bilal Muhammad is injured, and he just pulled out of his fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yo, you have no idea how long it took me to practice that name and get it right. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Poatan is rumored to be coming in. I don't think Poatan should take a 4th fight this year, bro. However, he does want that Fighter of the Year award, I guess. And this has been episode 13. We shall see what happens moving forward. People are injured. The league is interesting. The people are getting traded in the NFL. The Ravens acquired Deontay Johnson, and we'll see how he does it because they lost to the Browns. And I'm still angry about that, but woosah. It's a different episode. Anyway, once again, episode 13. Tell me how you felt. Yeah. And I'm Mukundi. I will see you in episode 14, where I dissect the games from NFL Sunday and the other basketball games that will happen over the next couple of days. As always, until next time, enjoy the violence.